After the craziness of Rockumentary, I thought it would be fun to look at the Zack Attack side projects. What's a side project, you might ask? It's when members of one band form another band to record something that might not fit the original band's style, like Manchester Orchestra collaborating with Kevin Devine to form Bad Books, or Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars collaborating for the Silk Sonic record, or Max Bemis from Say Anything joining forces with Chris Connolly from Saves the Day to form Two Tongues, or S.A. Martinez from 311 recording under Ghost Wolf, or Tom DeLonge and Travis Barker breaking from Blink-182 to record as Boxcar Racer. So, what have members of Zack Attack done? Well, I'm going to start by eating a bit of crow. You may recall from the Rockumentary video that I made a decent deal out of Screech not being the bass-playing type. Dustin Diamond played the bass in real life. That's my bad, little buddy. Dustin began playing the guitar at a young age and probably would have been far more believable as the Zack Attack guitarist. But we gotta give the axe to the cool guy. Get on over to them keys, nerd! Dustin later became obsessed with the bass. In the early 2000s, he began collaborating with Bug Guts and a drummer. They eventually released an album under the name Salty the Pocketknife. The music is a little out there, but I can't deny that it's got some very interesting elements to it. It comes across as a love child between the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Tool, and Primus. Some tracks can be found online, and physical copies don't appear to be too hard to find. Aside from being in a band, Dustin Diamond also appeared in several music videos. Back in our first deep Screech dive, we saw 4 dudes from 98 Degrees fall all over themselves to win the affection of Mario Lopez's soon-to-be ex-wife, Allie Landry. Despite their efforts, the lovely lady ends up with Dustin Diamond. Yeah! Dustin later joined fellow Milwaukeeans, the rock outfit Tenlo, for 2 music videos. The music is fine, and I give the duo credit for getting their songs made in between their real jobs. The videos, however, confuse me. The first video for Kill All the Things follows 2 characters. Dustin Diamond is ex-Hollywood producer / convicted sexual predator Harvey Weinstein, who rolls up to a junkie hotel to snort all the coke and drink all the liquor. Kelly Cunningham primps and preens and downs some pharmaceutical courage because she's going to seduce, strong-arm, Mr. Weinstein into her hotel room for a quick shag and stab. This is not the fabled death by Snoo Snoo. So, did Harvey wrong this particular girl and she wanted revenge? And it's revealed at the end that she's a nun. Was she always a nun? If so, would she be up on current events to know why she should use her body to entrap this scumbag? Or did she become a nun to go into hiding? Don't get me wrong, I have zero sympathies for Harvey Weinstein. I just want the narrative to make sense. The second video for Running Out of Time is better in the sense that the story is more straightforward, though it still doesn't make much sense. Dustin plays Doc Brown from Back to the Future. The video has some fun nods to the movie, like the sports almanac, the band fading, and the hoverboard. But the story? Apparently the Tenlo guys are lost in time, flying the interdimensional farscapes, and Doc Brown is trying to fix the DeLorean to get them back. But then finding the one hoverboard gets them 2 hoverboards? But then they are back in the car and zapped into the shop? You know what? I don't think we're supposed to think too critically about this one. It really comes across as a couple of bros having a good time making a music video with some retro themes. I'll take goofy fun over cynicism any day. Dustin wasn't the only one to have recorded his own music. I've teased it a couple times in the past, but Lark Voorhies has released 2 songs. I'll be honest, on first listen, they're kind of rough.
Baby, tell me, am I worthy of great shade?
The songs seem like a mix of soul and funk, with one getting the modern treatment with some of the craziest auto-tuning I've heard. Now, I listen to a lot of music, and one of my pet projects was listening to actors bridging over into music. I learned that Linda Carter has some albums where she adequately sings some classic standards. Bruce Willis sings songs for all his sleepy retired bros. Jeremy Renner has music on Spotify. I can tell you that Scarlett Johansson's solo album is pedestrian, but her work with Pete Yorn is really good. Paris Hilton's pop album was pure vanity, but Lark's music seems to be her making something for herself. It's chaotic and weird, but it's also authentic. And truth be told, I unironically like these tracks for what they are. I mean, how could I not dig a song named after my favorite day of the week?
I just wanna treat you like it's Saturday.
Similar to Dustin, Lark appeared in several music videos. In Montel Jordan's Something for Da Honeys, there appeared to be a lot of Da Honeys, but only a blink and you'll miss her Lark appearance. She gets slightly more screen time in Kenny Lattimore's video for Never Too Busy, as Lark plays the girl Kenny is holding out for. And I don't think I've ever heard a Kenny Lattimore song before, but the guy is smooth.
But now that things are moving, I hope that we don't move apart.
Go to him! In the Drew Hill video for These Are the Times, Lark is the it girl that the royal dude wants but can't have. Why can't the rich playboy claim Lark as his own in this Alexander Dumas homage? Because she's jonesing for the man in the iron mask. And I wasn't too into the 90s era R&B scene. But was it always... what's the 90s appropriate word to describe this?
Gay!
No, Chang! The 90s appropriate word we used to describe this sort of thing was always flamboyant. Remember how we'd all see something we mildly disliked and wrote it off as flamboyant? This video is dripping in flamboyant undertones. What the Cisco? I didn't know he was in this group. Lastly, Lark played one of the 4 love interests in the video On Bended Knee by Boyz II Men. Wanya Morris does something to piss Lark right off, and it is only after some sweet melodies are sung desperately in the rain that things are made right. These guys are great vocalists, but I do not have the emotional willpower to casually listen to songs like this. Now, as far as I can tell, no other members of Zack Attack went on to record their own music like Dustin and Lark. But other members did also get featured in music videos. For instance, we already know from the Miss Bayside video that Tiffany Amber Thiessen revisited her beauty pageant days by being a nightmare contestant in Vertical Horizon's You're a God. Gosh dang. This one is probably best enjoyed on mute. Yeah, this is much better. She also starred in a Ben Lee video for a song called American Television, where she helps spoof several shows and tropes. She's the kid sister in an Alf spoof, as well as the unattainable girl in a Doogie Howser MD segment. The font makes me think this is a riff on Miami Vice. There's drama going on in this courtroom drama, and then there's this prolonged fragrance commercial spoof thrown in for good measure. Oh, shut up, Ben Lee! All in all, the song itself is a pretty standard pop rock track that your mom could like, but the video is a lot of fun. And speaking of fun, ladies and gentlemen, Hot Country Nights. This is a parody band by Dierks Bentley that is supposed to be doing a send-up of 90s country music, but they just sound like good 90s country music to me.
So you finally got the nerve to ask that little girl you've been digging on if she wants to go out.
The video was about this apparent loser who gets a broed out makeover to show Tiffany a good time. And while I disagree with the majority of the tips in this video, I do find trucks both cool and practical. And apparently, so does Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Oh, and did I mention that Travis Mother Effing Tritt is in this song? Yee-haw! And now to Dennis Haskins.
But wait, you might say, Mr. Belding was never in Zack Attack. To which I would violently counter with the deleted scene from The Last Dance when he was so close to being featured at the dance.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. And one of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
So, as I was saying, Dennis Haskins. If you did a web search for images of Dennis Haskins, you'd find a lot of him as Mr. Belding, and a lot of him singing karaoke. And just like Dustin recorded dirty rock and Lark recorded funky soul, Dennis recorded karaoke songs. So if you ever wanted to sing along with the Big Bopper, this totally exists for you. Dennis also featured in several music videos. The goofiest one is by Daniel Spink as he sings about, and gets a bunch of celebrities to perform, the Carlton dance, including some shots of Dennis Haskins. It's kind of fun to watch, and that's all I'll say about it. In Ryan Cabrera's House on Fire, he plays the dad of a deadbeat kid. His kid steals his car. Cool, Ryan. In Khalid's super smooth song, Young, Dumb, and Broke, Dennis opens the video as a principal giving a last announcement for the school year, which fits and lets us transition right into Vacation by Dirty Heads.
Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, 'cause I love my occupation.
Now, I love me some of the white boy dub and reggae stylings of Dirty Heads, but this song seems to rely too heavily on its sexy hook. That said, seeing Mr. Belding bounce around with joy is a lot of fun. Better yet are all the nods to Saved by the Bell lore, like the Big Bopper jacket, the tiger mascot head, the caffeine pills gag, the graffiti that says Rod sucks, him doing the competition-winning dance The Sprain, and even his catchphrase synced with the song.
Hey, I'm on vacation.
There's also the Elvis bust. Don't bump the bust! Another video Dennis gets to have some fun in is for the song Murder Jeans by Thick Seven. I'm not going to comment on the quality of the song, as I hope it's a tongue-in-cheek joke song, but Dennis Haskins gets some playtime as a bad guy as he whoops up on some contract killers, but then ultimately dies. Finally, we get to the cream of the Dennis crop. What you are seeing here is a reunion of, like, the Karate Kid actors before Cobra Kai was even a thing. The song is called Sweep the Leg, and the band is No More Kings. The music is not for me, but this video is everything. It starts out with Dennis basically ad-libbing his wisdom to his son.
I got a business to run. I have to... Hey, what is going on here?
Yeah, I get it.
Find your balance in life, Pete. Now rock and roll this pizza out of here.
We then basically get No More Kings rocking Johnny out of his doldrums to get a rematch with not Danielson and win that karate tournament. Good job, man! And there you have it! Zack Attack side projects. Did we need to go over all of this? Nope. But it's been in my head, and now I'm free.